All right. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Paul Tranny here. Going to dive into Daily Creative Challenge in Illustrator, of course. It's going to be super fun, and I'm glad that you are here. I see Wade in the house. Yeah, welcome, Maja, Noor, Steven. If you're joining me elsewhere, Fardeen, I think I see you over there. Let me make sure I got this right. I'll refresh. But thanks so much for joining me. The whole goal of this is to, of course, teach you Illustrator, but also talk about, over on this side, design trends. And we're going to be dealing with elements of nature is the idea. So that's our subject matter. It's a chance to explore new styles, which will be a lot of fun. So let's switch on over to my desktop. Happy Monday it is. I've been up since like 6. I've been working today, guys. You know what it is? Caffeine will do wonders for you. Like, you know what? You have some coffee and you're like, wow. Today is great, but it is a good day. Hopefully it's nice where you are. It's sunny here in Colorado after a windy weekend. Yeah, we are going to make some shapes. We're going to deal with patterns. We're going to actually create those patterns. We're going to make these elements of nature, as I call it, and make a nature scene. It's all part of this Daily Creative Challenge, and you can see it right here. Make a landscape using shapes and custom scatter brushes, as well as patterns. Okay, so more things happening there. Just click Get Started. You'll get this lovely file that actually has some photographs in it. So if we take a look, this is what it looks like. Up here, you can find my contact info, right? What we're going to do. And then just like a little example, right? But I've taken this to like a new level, just so you know. Sorry about that. And played with this. Ugh, so sorry. There we go. Taking this to another level because this was just the start. And this is what we're going to start out doing. We're going to create what we want. And then this is kind of where at least I've last sort of ended up with something like this. Okay, so that's the goal. You can see those patterns, and we could throw some leaves in there and various things. Freezing cold in London. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just happy that it's not cold here in Colorado anymore. It was freezing over the weekend. But all these assets are currently on this lovely layer 1, just so you know. It is unlocked, but we could lock it down. But you can see the images in there as well. So yes, you can import images to outline. Literally, that's all we're going to do. Okay, we're going to outline that stuff, and we're going to get this party started. We've done this before with hands, but we're going to take this to the next level. Now, keep in mind what I'm doing in here is I'm kind of turning off the background. I'm like, maybe I won't need the background. Same thing for this image. As I select this image, maybe I want to take down the transparency or something. I can control that in here with your command bar at the top. If you don't see that your control bar. If you don't see that control bar, just go to control. Layers within layers to make things confusing, right, Mike? I don't know. Like, why do we do that? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a save as, because I'm going to do this, and feel free to do it on your desktop, Illustrator on the desktop. But I'm just going to save this as nature. Let's say it natural 1. Well, I'm calling it whatever I want, but I'm saving it in Cloud Documents because I'm actually going to work on this on my iPad. Okay, click Save. Click Get this party started. That's what I think the OK button in the beginning, like File New, shouldn't say OK. It should be like Get this party started, because that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully you guys like this. Here, switching over to beautiful Illustrator on the iPad where I'm using Apple Pencil. And we can see that natural one that I made. Okay, select it. And yeah, pretty warm in Austin, Texas. Yeah, it's warm. It's probably warm because you're stuck in a vehicle in traffic. Just kidding. I just know Austin has a lot of traffic. Because you know what? Any place that has a lot of traffic is usually a place that's pretty popular. So it's a blessing and a curse. All right, here we are on my iPad. If I open up this layers panel, we can see all those exact same layers, right? And we can see that layer for this image. And I can look at the properties for it, right? Just like so, right? Just kind of showing you how it all relates. All right. So what I want to do is I don't want to work on this layer. I want to lock that layer down. Lock it down, Paul. Locking down that layer, layer 1, and we're going to work on layer 2. And we're going to work with a black stroke, and we're going to use the pencil tool. Pencil tool, I have this smoothing set about 3/4 of the way up, just so you know. And then we can kind of begin to outline this. And we could do this a number of ways. Yeah, iPad is really fun. You could do it a number of ways. You could also get a Wacom. Like I recently got a Wacom Cintiq, and that's like life-changing for me. Okay, so we could go in and just kind of have fun. I did this a little bit ago on a design challenge, I think, but we'll just jump in and outline this lovely deer, as you can see I'm doing right now. Just like that. What's nice is I could always stop, okay, and then continue as I click on, or I guess continue that line, click and drag, and we can connect that, and then we have like the initial outline that we're ultimately going to fill. Okay, Angela has a hue on. Like those are good. I don't know much well, actually, yeah. I don't know much about them. I do know that they're much more affordable than like a Wacom, which is awesome. So in this case, we need to learn how we can like look at something. We typically look at things based on not just their shape, but where the light hits them. So that's what I'm doing now. Jumping in, let's grab this part. You know, this is where the light is hitting, like so, and that will be a shape, right? Right under here as well, we're grabbing that where the light is hitting right there, and that's going to be another shape. And then right here, down the leg, right, and back up. You get the idea. This is sort of the darker color, I guess. As you do that, notice you could always jump in with a direct selection tool, grab any one of these points, move them around all you want. Take this one. Oh, I don't like that being a Bezier point. Double click. There it is. Get rid of it as well. Love it. Just go ahead and the Smart Delete button, which is the... Let's actually go to it over here. Smart Delete. Bam. It says remove the point without destroying the shape. All right, let's continue. I want to hurry through this because, again, I did this on a design live stream, and I feel bad. I don't want you to think I'm like repeating myself, although I kind of am, and that's okay. This shape, like so. We could do the eyes, and then inside the ears. You get the idea. All right. Cool. Afroja, she's like, hey, Paul, we get it. You could stop already. Thank you for that. Let's jump in and change the colors, right? So we have this. Actually, let's make this a lighter color. Let's just make that a yellow. We'll select this color. We'll make that, I don't know, a brown potentially, right? Underneath. Yeah, let's make that a brown as well. We've done this outlining before, which is why I'm going to remove the stroke and change just the inside in here, flip the colors, change them to brown, kind of like that. Cool. Flip them, turn them brown. Is this too, I hope this isn't too repetitious. We'll make that black. We'll make that brown as well. And this is the last part we're going to do, and we can do the rest on the desktop, okay? So we'll hurry through this. Oh, Michelle, that is interesting. We're both on the schedule for tomorrow. What schedule are you talking about? I wonder. So curious. But yes, I'm doing the Daily Creative Challenge tomorrow. Now I'm going to kind of draw out. Zoop, zoop. We'll just do this quickly. We're going to do the antlers, like so. Okay, but here we will make these white just for fun. And we will go to a mirror repeat. There we are, our mirror repeat, grabbing this point in the center. We can move that out a little, but this just made it easy for me to work. I could jump in and grab and make another little offshoot of this antler, something kind of like that. Okay, that's all I'm doing. For some additional elements, I'm gonna make some fun leaves. So here's a simple leaf. Let's do like more of a maple type leaf. I don't know, something that just like has all these little spikes on it. That might be a little much. Let's do one that's a little bit simpler. It almost looks like holly, but again, just making some leaves that I'm going to use back on my desktop as well. Okay, there we have it. Let's select these. Let's bring these behind everything else. Okay, and then we can continue. Feel free, if you want to, add a new layer underneath everything else. Right, that could be a different color. And again, that's why I included this additional layer. You can turn on this background and you could start outlining all this fun stuff, right? So again, don't worry about this too much. I'm gonna try to hurry through. Let's just make this a green. We could do a rolling hill like so. We'll do another one this way. Done. Right? Move it behind everything else. Make it a little bit darker, right? That's all I'm doing, making that one a little bit darker, creating that nice depth, creating some, you want to create some jagged trees real fast. In fact, I don't even see any of that stuff, so let's just turn it off. We want to create some jagged trees back there. Let's do that. Let's make them darker, maybe a little more green. Pencil tool, sorry about that. Let's hustle through this, Paul. Geez, what's taking so long? Taking my smoothing all the way down. Now I can just kind of jump in and make these look like really rough trees. Continuing that like so. 1,000 different ways we could do this. Let's connect that like so, and you get the idea. Another rolling hill behind everything else. That's going to be darker. Another rolling hill back there. That's going to be darker and behind everything else. Cool. All right, we have the fundamentals of what we want. All right, done. There's the natural one. It's being synced, and I can work with this on my desktop. Ooh, thumbnail image is incorrect on the Adobe Live schedule. Thank you so much, Keith. We will take care of that, everyone. Yeah, we will take care of that. I'm doing a little snapshot of it as well. Unless they've told me something I don't know, I will be doing tomorrow's 12:30 live stream. All right, going back out here. This is the big thing. So here's a version that I've already made. So this is where we need to go, right? Look at this. This is sort of the idea, right? Adding patterns. We'll throw some fun leaves kind of blowing through the scene, which will be cool. And then we could also colorize it. So here's a version that's colorized. So hopefully that kind of inspires you. That's the goal. And dear Clever Devlin living up to their name. I love it. I wanted to honor Clever for hanging out and participating because he's the community member I wanted to highlight today. There it is. Go to File, Open, Cloud Documents. Bam, there it is. Now we can get this party started more. This looks like a really cool night scene already, right? Cool. So this is already like looking really good, right? At least it's a start. Okay, and we didn't waste any time. I want to take some leaves and kind of blow them through this scene. Let's do that first. These are my simple shapes that I created earlier. Okay, we will take this one. We will go to our brushes. I typically like to open up my brushes panel. And if you just drag your element into your brushes panel, you can see right in here, hey, let's make it a scatter brush. Okay, so we make it a scatter brush, click OK. Oh, so sorry, it's white, so let's just cancel out of that. Let's not make these white to begin with, because we want to be able to see them. The great thing is we could always change the color later. So we'll just change the color to that nice green, drop it in there. Yeah, let's scatter it. We'll click OK. Now we can see it. The key color is important. This is going to allow us to change the color later on, which is going to be fantastic. But also this information, you know, make the size random. And you want to, at least what I like to do that with a scatter brush, we want it to be random. We want to make everything random, right? So I'm on down the line, everything is random. We'll do anywhere from 0 to 200. In terms of the size, the spacing as well, we can try 0 to 200. It's going to be one of those things you just need to play with, right? And you could drag this down as well. So maybe I will actually kind of drag this down. Let's put everything kind of to the side and kind of to the side. But typically, you're not going to nail this correct the first time, right? This, I will rotate it 180 degrees. We'll click OK. Right, I made this new pattern brush right up here. Doesn't look like much, right? Some of you already might know how to make a pattern brush, but I'll typically use the pencil tool. I'll go over here, select, oops. Maybe I'll turn off some of those things. I'm going to go new layer. This is going to be my leaves. We want leaves blowing through the scene. N for pencil, selecting my scatter brush, drawing out that line, and you can see it's obviously changing it. Okay? Notice how I could change the size. Everything looks pretty darn good. Great thing is if I double click on this, I could change it. So the key color is going to be that green, and we want to change this to tints. There's more I can add to this, but let's just change it to tints. Okay, so now what's happening? Apply 2 strokes. It's going to tint it whatever color I decide. If I want to change that to just a warm yellow, like they're dead leaves, we could see it does exactly what I expect. If I draw out another line and change the color, right, we could see it obviously change the color. Let's do tints and shades now, shall we? Hello, Edwin. Muriel, good to have you. Bayan, awesome. Sid is in the house. Such a good day, folks. Let's change this to tints and shades, right? Change tints and shades, change everything. You could see it's actually changing that color even more intensely as we can see those leaves set up, blowing through this scene. And we can turn on, of course, our wonderful deer. And we could change the size of these. Maybe we'll take this down a touch and make sure these leaves are behind the deer. You get the idea. Okay. Here's your next challenge for this. You ready? Oh, Trisha, like if I could help, like, man, I'm just thankful I can help people. That's it. You know? You know, one way to learn is to teach. I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'd do another ridge right up here. Let's do this really fast. I'm going to just draw this out. N for pencil, draw on this like so. We'll just have this kind of come in front. Kind of like that. And change the color. There we go. He's kind of sitting like, or standing just behind this, this lovely little ridge, right? So that's what we're doing. Why do we do this? It's just so we don't have to draw feet because we're lazy. What's the one thing people don't draw when it comes to art? Feet and hands, right? That's why we're like, oh, feet and hands, pass. Anyways, and faces, of course. There we go. Put that in front and we have the start of something awesome. Okay, so Carol, to answer your question, it is one. Yes, exactly. It does one single color per stroke, not like Photoshop with multiple colors. Great point. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I would love to make this multiple colors. I would probably break it up and then recolor that way. Okay. But again, we just have some nice leaves kind of blowing through here that we can play with all we want. Let's take a look at this a little closer, because I'm thinking, oh, it'd be really cool if we had some dimension to, say, the fur right here. So you could do this, and this is why I wanted to introduce patterns. We'll open up the appearance panel, and we have the pattern panel just so you could see it as well. So say I wanted to add some texture to this fur. Okay. What I can do is add, in my appearance panel, add a new fill, and then just change this to a fill that's in my color swatch. And this is why I wanted you guys to download my file. I know it didn't look like much, but it's cool that we could jump in and say, hey, let's give this some color dots like that at different sizes. So we can just give it some texture like so. And whether dots are it or whatever it is kind of up to you, of course. But I'm just playing with sort of these dots and adding some texture. The cool thing is we could add as much of this as we want. If we wanted to add another fill that had additional dots, you can see what's happening there. It's like I didn't have to go in and create each one of these. I'm adding these as patterns. Yes, clever, you're exactly right. You would expand the line and then recolor. Yep, and then regroup. That's what I would do. So you have that done. If you, so keep in mind, yeah, so that's what I would do for this. It means adding, actually, let's do this. Now that I have this set up, let's try this. Graphic styles, adding this as a graphic style, and then clicking like so. I now have made this appearance panel and all this stuff that I've added. This is now, I saved as a graphic style that I could call fur or whatever. Now it's just a matter of applying that graphic style to all those different parts. Okay, so we could do that with all of this. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this, by the way. So thrilled. Let's jump into this one really fast. Selecting this ridge, we're going to add another fill, and this time we're going to do some lines. Let's do like these lines. These lines seem really fat and loud. They're not angled correctly. A number of things need to happen. You don't need to change the pattern. Go to your rotation tool or your scale tool. And then if you hold down the tilde key, which is the little squiggly line, tilde, you can click and drag and rotate. And I'm able to rotate that pattern, right? So it follows that ridge. The next thing I would do is come down here and say, hey, that color is too loud, too much of a contrast. But how would it look if I changed the color blend mode to soft light? And that's what I want, just a nice soft light. Same thing for scaling, by the way. If I go in here, just make sure you have that fill selected. But go in here, hold down the tilde key again, and then the shift key, and then you should be able to, select the tool first. Tilde, click and drag. I will make it smaller. If you hold down the shift key, it will just keep it in proportion. But I'm making those lines thinner, as you can see. So you guys get the idea. Hopefully you thought this was fun. I would do the same thing on this other side. Brother. Adding another one, adding another set of lines. Right, I could always select something else and then change its color. Keep that in mind. Double click on it, right? And you can go in and you can change this to say black, for instance. Here I'm just editing this pattern, right? So now that's set to black. And with it selected, I could drop the opacity. So there's a number of things you could do with these awesome patterns. Let's go back into it. Using the rotation tool, tilde key, the squiggly line, rotate it, and now we have that side of the ridge. Okay. Sweet. And what did I include for you, by the way, is all these amazing brushes. So there's a number of brushes in here that I've kind of made over the years. I'm not saying all of them are great, but you can get an idea of these brushes. These are art brushes. And then we have some other pattern brushes up here as well. So here's one that's going to give some texture, right? Most of them will just give a nice texture, which I can consider using. Feel free to use this texture and then change the uniformity of it. Oh, I guess that does not work. It works with the art brushes, by the way. So if I have this or this, right, it looks kind of funny. I could always change the uniformity of it, and we can make it nice and pointy like that. Could you create a mask with a black fill, then use the pattern brush to draw in white? Yes. I think I know what you're talking about. This is what I would do. Stephen, just so you know, if you don't want this whole texture in here, this is what I would do. I'm just clicking to this final. You would create a clipping mask. So that's what I did right in here. This is actually a clipping mask of that shape. And then here is where I've drawn in with a pattern, basically. I use the blob brush with a pattern to give you this texture. Right, but I can't tell you about that because I'm trying to keep an edge as a professional. Just kidding. I'm trying to keep that edge. I can't share all these tips with you. I got to get you guys to tune in tomorrow as well. So, yeah, that's kind of the short of it. Feel free, create what you want, have fun with it, colorize it, post to, of course, Discord. And thank you to everybody who's been participating in the Daily Creative Challenge. I thought this one was really fun. Perfect opportunity to do that as well. This is the halftone dots would work great for this technique. And that's actually what I did right up here with the sun. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day. I really appreciate you. Stick around. We've got a full day going on and lots of good stuff. So stick around. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See ya.